People, good morning, Deluded, I'm back again. That didn't quite sound right. People, Deluded, I'm back again. There we have it, YouTube's N'Golo Kante. Good morning, and I hope you're all doing well and safe, whoever you are, wherever you're watching this, and whatever, you know, if you're watching this on your phone, the internet, tablet, whatever you lot doing, it means a lot. Thank you very much for tuning in. Now, I haven't got anything to say really. First and foremost, I've seen that allegedly, this is coming from German-based reports, so I guess you have to take it with a pinch of salt, because I know a lot of you lot are, but I'm not clued up on German matters and which publication is more reliable than this one, and you lot know where I'm going. But apparently Bayern Munich want to sell Tolisso. Now Bayern Munich, they're at a stage probably where I wouldn't say their team needs to go major surgery, but maybe a 1-2 great caliber players coming in. They need to inject it with some youth. You've heard them link with Sane. They've brought in a young goalkeeper eventually to take over from Neuer. They've got Coutinho, and apparently 1 minute it's gonna become permanent, then it's not. Do you get it? They're gonna need to probably get a couple of these sort of players, or you know, players that can really shake things up in their own individual different ways. And I assume Bayern Munich is one of the richest clubs in the world. But obviously they're a bit more prudent than the PSGs, potentially Uniteds, and of previous years Madrids. So you'd never probably see them spend 200 odd mil on a player, despite the fact that they were apparently ready to pay a lot of money for Sane. I'm not saying that, but yeah. And you'd imagine they've got to raise funds around the side. Now again, I'm not clued up on their matters. I don't know who they want to keep and get rid of. But allegedly, there's rumours that Tolisso could be a casualty. And if there is a smidge of hope that he could come to Arsenal, we've got to go and do that. Obviously, the only things we can really appeal to Tolisso is the fact that he's more or less been a bit part role. I think I'd describe him as a valued squad member by any manager at Bayern Munich, but he's kind of been marginalised this season of sorts. He is working his way back from serious injuries that's plagued his last 2 years, more or less, 18 months. But yeah, we have to appeal to the fact that obviously Arsenal and the French, and if you're French and Arsenal, there's a lot of ties there. Obviously his teammate, maybe only for a year or even the summer, but his former teammate and good friend Lacazette is here. Obviously Arsenal and French players and French people are very synonymous. He would really feel loved at Arsenal if he was to come. Now he's been linked with Napoli, a team that tried to sign him before he actually went to Bayern Munich, and he's been linked with a whole host of clubs, as he should be when someone of this caliber becomes available. He can play a bunch of roles in midfield, can do up box to box, can do deep lying, can even fill in at fullback if needed. Obviously statistics won't back it up, but I have him down as not a goal scoring midfielder, but somebody that could be a goal scoring midfielder for us, or could inject slightly more goals than our current midfield options. Someone that likes to get into the final third and do things like that. Again, he's not the most prolific in front of goal by a midfielder by any standards, but yeah. Obviously he's 25, so he's more or less in his prime years. He's only got more years ahead of him, and it would be a decent investment. How much they want for him, I'm not too sure. Did they not spend 40 million euros on him? You'd imagine they want to break even and things, or at least make their money back. But he is someone I would definitely urge us to look at, people. And away from transfers, obviously we've flown back from Dubai now, people. Happy belated birthday to former Gooner Charlie Gilmore. I didn't mention that yesterday. As same birthday as Torreira. But we've flown back by Dubai now, and I hope it's been a good trip. I hope that, you know, Arteta is the closest thing he's going to get to pre-season. He's been given an opportunity to, you know, that bit more, make the players that bit more familiar with his tactics, and, you know, giving him time to do what he wants to do from a tactical point of view. Obviously there's the fitness element. Obviously for me, I want the players, you can't really mentally recharge, but use this sort of break to kind of forget about the past. Not forget about it, because remember why we're in this position with the 13 draws and whatnot. But sort of accept the past for what it is. You can't change it, and try and build for a new future. And I hope they're coming back recharged, and they're looking at the fixture list, because there's no time to feel sorry for ourselves. Home and away is difficult for us, but we've got, in no particular order off the top of my head, excluding the Europa League and FA Cup, we've got Newcastle, who played well against big teams, Everton, who are looking decent under Carlo Ancelotti, we've got West Ham. You never know what happens in games like that. Who else is there? Man City game was postponed, but we've got that to come. We've still got to play Spurs. We've still got to play Liverpool. We've still got to play Watford. I think we still even have to go to Southampton away. So there's a lot of games to be said. I saw Arteta speaking about top four, and he isn't wrong. Top four is there for the taking. But the reality is, for me, I'm very pessimistic because we're 10 points off it. I know people can say if we go on a run, if we do that, and it's a lot of that is true, but the key word there is if. There's no facts in football, but can I, as much as I love my club, looking at it as non-biased as I potentially can, do I have faith that these current bunch of players, because of where we are, they can put a run together, a five game run or whatever, and get 12 or more points? Let me just check. 3, 6, 9, 12. Yeah, but 3, 6. Let's say 4 games, but or whatever, man. We need to go on. We need to. I was thinking of 12, and I was thinking 5. It's not 5. It's 4. I don't know why 12 is such an important number to me, but we need to go on a 4 or 5 game run and almost, it sounds dumb, but not lose games and win games. That's as simple as football is. Do I have confidence that we have that? No, because Arteta is introducing some decent things and the players are showing a willingness to adopt it, but we're still not there yet because it's not going to happen overnight. We still haven't got the concentration levels, in my opinion, and we just haven't got the consistency. And it's down to the players. If the players want it, again, it's out of our hands. But what the players should do is say to themselves, yo, let's this season, let's right the wrongs. There isn't too much we can get, but let's build for next year. Let's try and finish this year in the strongest way we can. Win as many games as possible. Try and do what we can in the Europa League. Small hope for top 4, even though it's gone, and potentially prove doubters like myself wrong, people. Because I wouldn't say, obviously, you can't begrudge me or I can't begrudge you if you lot feel the same way that top 4 is a myth. Top 4's been a myth for time. It's not even the fact that it's 10 points or the fact that, because everybody's dropping points. It's the fact that I can't, when I disregard the oppositions or people rivaling for that spot, and I look at my team, I don't know when we're going to pick up a win because we're drawing a lot of games. The players need to understand the task they have at hand, and the players need to understand a lot of them are, in fact, all of them really are playing for their futures, even man that I use frequently under Arteta. So all I want to see is them pull together because there's still a lot of football to be played, people. There's still a lot of football to be played. There's no time to feel sorry for ourselves, both in the Premier League and in our current situation in all competitions. Football, you can't feel sorry for yourselves or you're going to be in free fall. I want the players to first and foremost think about the past, think about where they've gone wrong, both collectively as a team, as players, and obviously results. But forgive yourselves, it's gone now. Like, you can't do anything. I can be angry about the fact we dropped points X, Y, and Z. We started poorly here, individual mistakes here. It's gone, innit? We can't go back in time. So accept it, move on. But the key thing is learning from these mistakes. So when you're in these situations again, it drives you. Remember how it felt to be, because we're failures right now. Remember what it feels like to feel like failures and use this to drive you on. It's important we be honest, people, because over the whole season, there isn't a player in that side. Obviously, you can say Martinelli and Saka, but it's not really a thing where we should be individualizing players, but there's not really a player there that can say they've performed to the best of their abilities at all moments throughout the whole season. Even Aubameyang, who's scoring all the goals, and it sounds harsh to say that. And if they can, under previous managers, whether you like them or not, have you honestly been 100% committed, 100% down for the cause, and 100% tried your best in every moment, since from Emre to Lombard to Arteta? If you can honestly look yourself in the mirror as players and say you did, I can't say anything. But I'm very big on truth and honesty, and I don't believe every player can look themselves honestly in the mirror and say, I couldn't have demanded more from himself, I couldn't have done more. Do you see what I'm saying, people? So it is what it is in regards to the past. We need to build for a future. Like, this ain't Disney Channel and Mighty Ducks. Like, I might sound like I'm doing some battle cry and things, but listen, I still don't know if we're going to win at Newcastle. Well, Newcastle coming to our place, but you get the point. But I just want to see them forgive themselves for the past, try and build to a future. It is what it is. We can't cry over spilt milk. We're living in the present. The players, all they can do is do things in the present to have a better future. And it's in their prerogative. A lot of them are playing for their futures. If you're not directly playing for your future, you look at soccer artists and Luis. I might not think much of them as players, people, but it seemed like Arteta, you lot were the guys. Regardless, is if I think we needed a centre half, he's brought in Pablo Mari, shaking things up, so no position is really safe. Arteta said in an ideal world, he like 3 men fighting for spots. There's arguably whether the natural fullbacks can fill in there or second choice or whatever, or even if they're fit at this moment in time. You look at left and right back, there's 3 men fighting for a spot. There's Bellerin, there's Maitland-Niles, obviously Cedric Suarez has just come in to compete at right back. At left back, you've got Saka, left winger / left back. Tierney is the first choice, but he's not been fit. Kolasinac, I feel, since Arteta has come, has reacted very well in that time. And obviously, if you want to force it, you heard Cedric Suarez can fill in at left back. Maitland-Niles, I remember when he actually was originally playing at left back in games before he was playing at right back. So it's down to us, people. It's down to us. How how many positives you can draw from this season is down to the players, people, because all they can do, for me, the only positives we can get is praying on the Europa League thing. But all I can hope is that we use this, Arteta can use this time to, you know, implement his tactics to a greater standard, make his own mistakes, because he is going to have to make mistakes as a manager. Players just learn what he wants to do, and let's just try to finish as high as possible. 5th or 6th, if we could do it, then it is what it is, people. Obviously, I hope for 4th, but I don't genuinely believe in my team's capabilities of getting that. And if I'm a player, no player is watching DG realistically, but if I'm a player watching this, it would hurt me. If I'm listening to DG say this as an Arsenal fan, I want to prove him wrong. I want to convince the non-believers, because that's where a lot of us fans are at now. It's not that we don't believe in the team, not that we don't love our club, it's just we're so battered and bruised. You lot, if you lot want us to be galvanised, you lot got to galvanise us, because the fans are always here. It's ironic, Arsenal fans are special. Do you remember in the summer, Arsenal fans saying they got a good squad, we done good business in the summer? All of us were screaming that crap. Now look, do you get it? Arsenal fans always rep their team, even though we're a bit of a special bunch and they gas it. We're not as bad as you United fans listening to this though. Let's make sure we get that one clear. But on a serious note, people, it's down to the players, man, because they don't live in the bubble. I'm sure they've got family that support the teams they're at, and I'm sure there's got to be one man that said, yo, you lot are bad, you know, you lot have been crap all season, and that's, you got to use these things as hurt. Like, we've got to see things for what they are. We've got to try and get some positives from this season, and the positives for me would be top 4. That's the only positive. So the only positives I can see now is tactically. But I hope they use the Dubai trip in short, people, to recharge themselves mentally and go again for the task at hand, people. And I hope there's some more togetherness in the team and there's some more camaraderie. And I hope Arteta's got to see players in a different light, away from necessarily professional settings. And likewise for Arteta, because that also helps with the camaraderie and brotherly love. Because I do think there is togetherness in this team. There always has been. Even when we've, to the point where Arsenal fans have said they're so happy we're failing and all of these things. But naturally, because of the turbulent times in our last 2 seasons or more, they're going to be divided. Some people are going to sink, some people are going to swim, some people are going to be selfish, some people are going to point fingers at others. Others are going to have the maturity to consider that other factors are not their fault, but they're going to look in the mirror. And that's what we need to do. Everybody needs to look in that mirror. If everybody can look in that mirror and say, honestly, they've couldn't ask more, then what can I say in my videos? But I don't think there's an Arsenal player in that side that can look themselves in the mirror and say, over the whole campaign, there's not been anything I could do more. There isn't. I couldn't have tracked back even more. I couldn't have defended more. I couldn't score more goals. I couldn't be more consistent. If you can honestly say you could do that, then what can I say? Turn off my vid, lock it off. I'm chatting shit. It's that simple. But I don't feel there's a simple. I don't think there's one Arsenal player that can honestly say that, people. 100% of the time they've done what they need to do. A push is probably Aubameyang, and I think Aubameyang will even be the first to tell you there's been times it's not been there for a minute, regardless of goals to get. But on that note, people, deluded, I'm out, there ain't nothing more to say. And I just said Aubameyang, you could add Martinelli to that. But anyways, people, DG, love, man. Thank you for watching each and every time, but I need to keep it moving.